Afghanistan on an abandoned runway. We are in the middle of nowhere. Off in the distance in front of us are the massive mountains of the Hindu Kush. Don't worry, you're safe. But enjoy the peace and quiet while you can, because it is about to get loud. Your United States Air Force is on the way to establish a remote base capable of moving equipment out of your area and back to the United States. Today you'll be witnessing a demonstration of one of our core capabilities, initial airbase opening. Continuous response wing airmen are trained to provide initial command and control support and operate an airfield between the time when seizure forces secure the location and follow-on forces arrive for continued operations. Very shortly, a fully loaded C-17 Globemaster III from Joint Base McGuire-Dix-Lakehurst 6th Airlift Squadron will perform a taxi and stop at Show Center. A highly trained assessment team from the 621st has arrived on a helicopter a few hours earlier and has been busy inspecting the runway, establishing communications and surveying the local area for any hazards our inbound crew needs to be aware of. Each assessment team has a single subject matter expert from 7 vital CRW career fields. There's an expert responsible for civil engineering, airfield management, air traffic control, loadmaster, security forces, satellite communications specialist, all led by a team commander. Their job is to inspect an airfield to make sure that follow-on forces can show up and are safe to operate. The C-17 is capable of more than 170,000 pounds of cargo in small airfields halfway around the world, and it can land in distances as short as 3,500 feet. A fully loaded C-17 at max weight weighs 585,000 pounds and carry up to 245,000 pounds in fuel. The pilot of the C-17 is Captain Sean Jacquin from Frankfurt, New York. His co-pilot is Captain Andy Roll from the 305th OSS. He's the aircraft commander from Lakewood, Washington. Major Tim Fung is the safety observer from Cleona, Pennsylvania. Senior Master Sergeant Salim Muncie from San Angelo, Texas is the loadmaster, and the other loadmaster on board is Tech Sergeant Kyle Rowan. He's from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Now this operation is going to demonstrate what the CRW can do. We will arrive on a C-17 with all our own equipment. We have everything we need to operate when we're on the ground. Very shortly he's going to taxi up to Show Center. That gate is already dropping. That means the crew on board is probably already unchaining vehicles and equipment. As soon as that happens, we're going to see our CRW team roll out the back, probably at pretty high speed because they're trying to break their time from yesterday. It took them 4 minutes to get everything off the aircraft yesterday. The first elements you're going to see is our security forces members. Their job is to establish a perimeter around the aircraft. They're protecting some of the most valuable assets of the United States military, our airmen and our equipment. They're going to establish a bubble around this plane to allow our port handlers to get off the aircraft. Their port handlers are going to turn around and offload cargo. In this case, they're just bringing off their material handling equipment. In this case, it's a 10KAT. We call it the 10KAT. It's a 10,000-pound all-terrain forklift. The crew that's going to be on this aircraft is Tech Sergeant James Kane. He's the load crew chief. He's from Killeen, Texas. Now, if we watch, down comes the ramp. I'll read the crew names in a moment for you. Porters come off the aircraft. They're waving out and down the crew. Here comes the all-terrain vehicle. Here comes the other one. These are security forces members. They're going to post on the wingtips and establish security perimeter. Followed shortly by that is going to be an armored Humvee. Our gun truck is going to come off to provide a little bit more firepower. This is an armored Humvee. It usually carries a 50 cal machine gun on top. And they're waving the 10K off already. That thing's been on the ground for less than 30 seconds. We're already off the vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, 621st Contingency Response Wing. That's how long it takes for us to set up an airfield. At our core, our follow-on airlift missions will deliver a command and control center, satellite communications equipment, more cargo handling equipment, and the rest of our small yet highly motivated team of air mobility airmen. This airbase opening capability is just one of many the CRW is called upon to perform around the world at a moment's notice. Our air mobility air advisor teams are building partnerships, educating air mobility rated subjects in Africa, Central and South America. Our contingency response air mobility planners are directing the flow of cargo, medical patients and air refueling tankers in communities around the globe. And our air mobility liaison officers serve alongside Army and Marine units to provide vital guidance on air mobility related matters. Our missions are light and lean and driven by the desire to mobilize the fight, provide relief, and advance the peace. We are the 621st Contingency Response Wing, versatile mobility problem solvers, ever ready to deploy as Air Mobility Command's 911 force. Our team today was made up of Staff Sergeant James Kane, he's the load crew chief from Killeen, Texas. Staff Sergeant Matthew McCormick, he's another load team member from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Staff Sergeant Loran Camacho from Southbridge, Massachusetts. Senior Airman Joshua Donovan, he's the Humvee driver from Richmond, Virginia. A1C John Judy, he was driving the forklift, he's from Leavenworth, Kansas. And the guy in the gunner's rack was Staff Sergeant Robert Higginbotham from Magnolia, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, your 621st Contingency Response Wing in action.